What is going on, everybody? It is Jamie Shaw here on the Absolute Basketball Experience. Very excited today to have rising Boston College sophomore CJ Felder on the show. We talk about his upcoming, we talk about his recruitment, getting to Boston College and all the stuff that came with it. We talk about the chip that he has on his shoulder as a late bloomer. We talk about what to expect from him during his sophomore campaign, and all that stuff in between, the excitement of playing in the ACC. And everything like that. So be sure that you tune in here. This is very exciting. CJ is a great individual. Been knowing him since he was coming up 8th, 9th grade and all that type of stuff. And to see what he's become and to listen to what he's expecting from not only Boston College, but himself next year. Very excited about that. But before we get into it, we ask the normal, please subscribe to this channel. Please like this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you enjoy what CJ had to say, please feel free to share it across your platforms as well. We want CJ's voice, we want CJ's words and story to get out to as many people as possible. And we want to hear in your comment section below who your favorite ACC player is that you're looking forward to watching this season. So subscribe and like, and then let us know in the comments what ACC player you're looking forward to seeing the most this upcoming season. But without further ado, here is Boston College rising sophomore CJ Felder on the Absolute Basketball Experience with Jamie Shaw. Thank you guys very much.
Swung it around the horn. Derek Thornton trying to get behind Outlaw. No luck feed to Felder. Rebounding, and how about this flush? Rim rocker.
And Delorier averaging about 14 minutes a ball game for Coach K. Mitchell will feed the freshman C.J. Felder for the two-hand flush. Timeout as we continue from Cameron. For it. Bounce pass, Felder the dunk on Delorier.
Felder at 6'7". Elevates over 6'10". Delorier, a rim protector shot.
C.J. Felder driving through the lane, count it, plus the foul.
What is going on, everybody? It is Jamie Shaw here on the Absolute Basketball Experience. Very excited today to have CJ Felder, rising sophomore at Boston College University. CJ, how you doing today?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate you taking some time to go on. First off, real quick, we've been going through quarantine here lately. I know that there's been a lot of downtime and everything. What is a movie or a TV show that you have binge watched that you recommend to everybody?
Well, the show that I've actually watched was 13 Reasons Why. It just recently came out.
Mm-hmm.
I would recommend the first 2 seasons, but the last season I don't recommend that. It wasn't too good. So, but that's really like the only show I've been watching.
Hey, man, I tell you, it's crazy because it's like these TV shows just go too long. It's like you had something going these first 2, and then that third one, it just makes it trash.
Exactly, like that's.
So you come from Sumter, South Carolina, who's produced a ton of basketball talent of late. Everyone knows Ja, but then you got you at Boston College. Isaiah's going to St. John's. You got Juwan Purdue at Jacksonville State, Quentin Upstate, all that stuff. What is it about Sumter basketball lately?
Lately, I feel like we have just a big chip on our shoulder because we feel like it's not a lot of exposure down here. So we just have a big chip on our shoulder. We feel like we got to prove a point to everyone else and whatnot. So that's what I would say is just a chip on our shoulder. And
then, the national media never really caught on to you specifically until kind of the summer between your junior, senior season. Despite the offers that you had, I mean, going into that, you already had Auburn, you had Marquette, you had Clemson, all that type of stuff going in. Did that give you, as you said, the chip on your shoulder? Did that motivate you at all to sit there and keep working and keep grinding?
Definitely not getting the national recognition that I felt I deserved and worked for, and then going out and playing against some of the people who were getting that attention and feeling like I'm definitely better than them. So yeah, that definitely played a part in me having a chip on my shoulder. Whatnot.
Did you kind of have a checklist? Obviously, with you play with Upper Stars on the Adidas Gauntlet, did you kind of have a checklist of every game that you were going to? Okay, this guy's ranked 32nd. I'm going to go right at him. This guy's ranked in the top 100. I'm going at him.
Yep, yes, sir. I used to make it my personal mission to go out and guard all of those players and good bit of times I was actually able to shut most of them down. Some maybe one or two got the best of me, but I still did my part, did good for the most part.
So you had official visits set up in high school to Murray State, Virginia Tech, Boston College, and LSU. How did that visit process and how did you your decision-making process go for you?
The visit process, it definitely impacted a lot on my decision because I was able to get a feel for the culture of the city that the school was in and the school itself. So the visit process definitely played a part. And then what was the second part to the question?
Well, the follow-up to it was you ended up choosing Boston College. What was it about them that really put them over the edge for you?
Oh yeah, when I got to Boston for the visit, it just felt like a home environment. Like you can't really go everywhere and say it feels like home because then everywhere wouldn't be home. But when I got there, I definitely felt like I fit in, and with the tradition, with the people on campus, with the team, the coaching staff, everything, and then also with my cousin going there, it just felt like the perfect storm for me.
How has the transition been from Sumter to Boston?
Oh my gosh, it's been a big transition. It's nothing the same at all. But I feel like I've adjusted pretty well to it. So I'm ready for it.
So one thing, from South Carolina, I love food. South Carolina's got some really good food. What's the food like in the difference from Boston to Sumter? Like in the South Carolina food to Boston food, like what's the difference there?
It's totally different. It's like there's restaurants up there that they've never heard of that we have down here, and vice versa. The food is like twice more expensive. And then there's a lot of food up there I've never heard of before, never tried to eat in my life till I got there. But I mean, I guess I'll say that it's good up there too, but I definitely would rather have South Carolina food.
There's no doubt about that. So food aside and all that, Boston's a long way away from Sumter and everything. When you come back home for a visit, where's the first place that you have to go to when you get home to Sumter?
When I got to Sumter, the first place I have to go to that would come to mind, and it was just actually the first place I went to when I came home was the local YMCA around here, the gym. Yeah, that's the first place, definitely.
So you started 18 of 31 games your freshman season. You averaged about 21 minutes per game, just about. Boston College loses 4 of their top 6 players from last season going into this season. And you're going to be asked only as a sophomore to be a leader of the team. What role are you going to be taking on, and what have you talked about with the coaches of their expectations for you coming into next season?
Basically what you just said, being the leader of the team with me and other returning pieces we have, just having the experience of already being there and having to step into a leader role and just, I don't want to keep saying leader again, but like that's the main role I think that I'm stepping into this upcoming year. So.
Year 1 to year 2 is typically a big jump for players at the college level. They're used to this, the speed of the game. They get used to their bodies and games and all that type of stuff. How would you grade your freshman season at Boston College, and how would you say you did?
I would grade my season probably right at a C, because for the high parts of the season would be I played a lot more than most freshmen usually do, and I think a lot of people told me that I did pretty well for my first season and whatnot, but also for me, I feel like I didn't do anywhere near as good as I thought. And the main part of that was just the mental, because it was a couple of times in the season I lost myself mentally, but I regained it. So I just gave myself a C because I showed a lot, but I also feel like I have a lot more to show as well.
So what have you been working on during this offseason? I know during quarantine and all that type of stuff, but what have you been working on heading into next season?
Well, one main thing that I've been working on, and I know that not too many people would say, but main thing I've been working on is just mentality again, just my mental part of the game, staying mentally strong and being confident out on the court and what I believe I can do and how I can help the team. That's the main thing I've been working on, but also with my ball handling and shooting I've been working on. my shooter mechanics, trying to, get the ball in the right places and to where people would say it helps you shoot better or whatnot. So ball handling and shooting mechanics is the main thing I'm working on.
So you're 6'7", 230 pounds, but you also have ball skills and you can defend multiple positions. How would you
Mhm.
describe your game, and who have you heard that you play like?
I would describe my game as somewhat of an all-around player with the jump shot coming in. And I've heard a lot of comparisons. I've heard comparisons from like all across really. Just some people were saying LeBron-ish. I don't want to compare myself to LeBron yet, but like something of a similar mold. A little bit of Montrezl Harrell, a little bit of Colin Sexton, just a lot of players really.
And then the ACC basketball is obviously the big boys. What was your most memorable story or most memorable moment from year one?
The most memorable moment I would have to say would be when we beat Virginia without without two of our seniors and who are also our starters, Derek Thornton and Nick Popovich. I say that's probably the best memory of the season.
What was the best environment that you played in?
The best environment. I want to think of something that could challenge Duke, but I can't think of anything. So Duke probably by far was the best environment of playing in.
And who was the toughest player that you played against?
The toughest player, I have to say, Elijah Hughes. From Syracuse. I don't think too many people give him the recognition he deserves, but he led our conference in scoring, and I really feel like he was a pretty good player.
So you earned your first career start at Notre Dame. What was that feeling like walking onto the floor as a starter in an ACC game?
It was a great great and surreal feeling because that Notre Dame game was actually my birthday on the same day. So getting that start on my birthday and also getting a win, it was just a great feeling, something that almost seems unimaginable. Getting the first start on your birthday, so it was great.
You mentioned Cameron Indoor Stadium being one of the best atmospheres and stuff. You had a pretty good game there. Your first game at Cameron,
Yeah.
you went for a career high 13 points, adding 6 rebounds and 2 blocks. Explain that kind of whole experience and what your thought process was during that game, and then how you played.
My thought process was just try to go out and kill. So that's probably the best mentality game I've had the whole season, just because I was looking forward to playing them and the Duke players and the Duke environment. The environment just fueled it more because I love the crowd atmosphere when they're really hyping into the game and whatnot. And I really love that.
All right, so you're a high-level recruit coming from a small town. You went to ACC. You had multiple offers and all that type of stuff. But what type of advice would you give a kid currently who's going through the recruiting process, maybe a sophomore or junior from a small city like yourself?
The advice I would give is just to keep working hard. You might if you start getting attention, that could be just a tip of the barrel for someone. So just keep working hard, and especially in small cities, especially like where I'm from, just really find a group of people that you know are really rooting for you and stick with that people, because in small cities, it's a lot of outside voices that can come and really try to just hate on you or try to bring you down, put you in bad situations and stuff like that. You just really got to stay to yourself or stay to a small group where you know you get support from.
And then kind of winding things down here, this is the last question, part A, part B. What can we expect from Boston College next season?
Next season, you can expect an entirely different team, probably with an entirely different play style. I know a lot of people like to say every year that they're going to be a different team, but I really, really believe from the team we were last year to the team we have upcoming, I really believe we're going to make a great jump, and anything less than an NCAA tournament bid will be seen as a bust, because I really feel like we have a top 25 team if we really put the pieces together this year. So I have a lot of great expectations for it this year.
And then what can we expect from CJ Felder next season?
Next season, you can expect a better player, a better all-around player, a confident player that doesn't really have too many holes in his game. They're just a better all-around confident player.
I love it. CJ, I appreciate you spending some time here. I know that you're right in the middle of workouts and all that kind of stuff. I appreciate you taking a couple minutes for us to get on here and talk. Is there anything that you want to leave the people with? Any Boston College fans, CJ Felder fans, South Carolina, state of South Carolina fans, whatever?
Just anybody that's still believing in me. I'm working hard, and I have a lot to show. So.
I cannot wait to see what this season brings for you. I can't wait to see what the rest of the career brings for you. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun watching to this point. I can't wait to see what the rest has.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate it. Guys, thank you all very much for tuning in to the Absolute Basketball Experience. For CJ Felder, I am Jamie Shaw. We will see you next time.